Clickbait, what's up? We got another episode and we are not going to be leaving you high and dry today. We have some fun Bachelor Nation breakdowns we got to get into, as well as a very, very funny clickbait of the week, which I LOL'd when I read the clickbait headline. And also, we have a very special guest today. In fact, it is a first for clickbait. We have one of my exes are here.
First time.
This is kind of crazy. So you guys are going to love who is on our clickbait podcast today. I'm going to leave it a surprise till the end. But I feel like we should just get started and get into the Bachelor Nation breakdown, shall we?
Let's do it. And I like that you're leaving it as a surprise, too.
It's kind of fun, huh?
Yeah, I'm into it. I don't even know who it is, so.
Well, let me just say, I have a lot of them here in the city. Yes, I am back in New York City. But yeah, I have a lot of exes here in the city. So technically, I could kind of call on quite a few to come on the podcast. But I think it's a good start where we're at. So we'll wait till that.
Who would you, Tayshia, really quick, who would you say Zach is closest with from your season?
He's actually close to quite a few. I know he keeps in contact with a lot of them. So I don't really know. I wouldn't say like the closest with anyone, because it's not like he goes out to dinner with all of them.
Right.
But I feel like he really does keep in contact with quite a few of them. I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
How about the guy that's coming on the podcast today? Is he close with him?
Absolutely. I feel like this particular person has been in our close quarters quite a couple of times. So, and definitely without me knowing at first. So anyways, on behalf of all three of us from Clickbait, we just wanted to thank you guys so much for the support and the love that you guys gave us regarding our last episode with Reality Steve and all the amazing women that have come forward and just really speaking their truth and telling us their experiences. It's not an easy thing to do. But I just want to say we have all of your guys' back. We support you fully. And again, just wanted to thank you guys for all of your love. So let's get into the Bachelor Nation breakdown, shall we?
Yes.
You guys, this first headline is so funny to me. People want the newly single Bill Gates to be on the Bachelor spinoff for older people. And I LOL'd with the creativity that everybody has with like coming up with the promo for him. He has his like own promo banner. And Bill Gates, huh? Could you imagine if he came on The Bachelor?
No. I cannot imagine at all, actually.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as I saw the article, I'm like, this is pretty ridiculous. It's something that would never, ever happen. It's Bill Gates, the wealthiest man in the world, or one of them. But I think it would be cool to have a Bachelor spinoff for older people. I don't know how it would do. I don't know if people would watch it. Like,
wait, they were supposed to have one.
Yeah, I know. But do you
last
think
season?
I think people will watch it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
100%.
I mean, having like, young single people be single, it's like duh. But like to watch a love story of someone who was older, they of course are going to have a story of life, right? Like it's going to be, I think it'll be great.
Has there ever been anything like that? Right.
Like
I guess like more of like a millionaire matchmaker kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because those are more of like an older established like couples usually, I think. But nothing like this. I think like their concept was just, I think they were looking for like 65 and older. So this is definitely like, some senior. Is that mean to say senior?
No.
Okay.
No, I think you get you get that in the mail. Like once you turn 65, you're considered a senior, and then you get like whatever letter every month, I think, in the mail.
I just
really?
I'm gonna get canceled by seniors right now. I don't even know what I'm talking. You get a letter every month.
I know a lot of people who are older who are single because maybe they were divorced or their spouse passed away, and some people really feel like, I already had my husband, I'm good. And I kind of think it'd be great to see their second shot. And I definitely think, speaking of Bill Gates, I saw so many things on the internet when this was announced about him. Also, let's talk about his wife. Like, what's up, boo? You can get out there too,
where's she
right?
at? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying she a gold digger, but we can have some crazy people on this show. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there might be like 30-year-olds trying to date Bill Gates.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be 30-year-olds trying to date Bill Gates' wife as well, because she's definitely not broke. I mean, there's just no way.
Yeah,
you guys,
exactly.
I had a few DMs yesterday like, hey, love you so much. Can you please get Bill Gates on the next Bachelor? I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And then I read the headline that he's now divorced. So listen, as exciting as that will be, I think he's a little busy, but it might be possible. We'll see. And now we have another Bachelor Nation takedown, which is actually pretty funny because it involves myself and my future mother-in-law, who accidentally unfollowed me on Instagram. It's really funny that people realize and notice when people unfollow people on Instagram.
Let's talk about, can we talk about that? Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
How crazy is it that people, and I think it's like a large number of people knew that Zach's mom unfollowed you.
I found out because other people knew.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on, she did? And I literally called Zach and I was like, is your mom mad at me? Like, I don't know what's going on here. He's like, what are you talking about? Baby would never be mad at you. And he's like, she probably just had a fun night last night. And like, she doesn't know how to work Instagram. And sure enough, after I like freaked out for a hot minute, she called him and was like, Zach, all these people are telling me that I unfollowed Tayshia and like you guys are like, might be broken up. She's like, I don't know what the heck is going on. But she's like, I unfollowed multiple people. I was just drinking wine and just having a good night. And next thing you know, wada bing, I unfollowed a couple of you guys. She probably follows like a max of 15, 20 people on her Instagram. And I'm sure you guys have done it before. Have you not accidentally unfollowed somebody?
Yeah. And I've accidentally followed people too. Like
I've done that too.
Yeah, like that's the worst. Like, and I've done that like a lot, and then I get DMs like, "I'm so happy you followed me," and then I'm like, "Oh man, who are you? Why did I just do that?"
I've done that on accident too.
Yeah, and it's when someone pops up in your notifications, it's just so easy to hit the follow or unfollow, button or something like that. But I've also, by the way, I also have unfollowed people that I talk to all the time.
All the time.
Because I just don't, like, girl, I get it. You going through some shit. I don't want to see that shit right now. You know what I mean? Like, but like, I still love you, but like, call me. Let's like hang out. Sure. But you don't have to necessarily subscribe to everything that someone is posting on Instagram, period.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And you could like somebody and be friends with somebody and be like, listen, you just post a little too much for me, and it's something I don't really need to see on my feed anymore. So I'm going to unfollow your ass. I'm sorry. I love you, but I just don't care what you're putting out there.
Yeah. So you can do that, or you can also mute them if need be, by the way.
I don't know how to mute.
Okay, well, the 3 little dots at the top, I can teach you. Okay. But it was just so funny to me because, I figured out that she was not following me anymore based on everybody else commenting about it. But it was all an accident. It wasn't anything intentional. She actually unfollowed also. Who else? Who else? Her son's wife, like Allison, who is her daughter-in-law. So, and then she refollowed him in the morning. She did say that she wanted to kind of unfollow a couple of accounts because it was just too much spam, and all she really wanted to see was her grandkids on the Instagram. So
that means that you gotta have a kid for a grandma to follow you. Mm-hmm.
Just get rid of
so basically, I'm out. Thank you. So basically, I'm out.
Wait, but before we go, I actually want to go a little further with this because I want to, I want to ask a question. You have so many followers. Your boyfriend has so many followers. You have people that now see what your fiance.
Thank you.
I was gonna say boyfriend.
Yeah. Okay. What your future mother-in-law is doing. Do you ever step back and kind of freak out a little bit over just privacy?
Well, I feel like I really am kind of private on Instagram. I don't really post as much as I quote unquote probably should, or as much as people would like me to. And I think that's just because I don't know. Sometimes I'm doing a lot of things that I think are boring. Like everything that I did today. I was just working today. I was organizing today. I didn't post any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as privacy goes, like it is kind of weird posting like about being with my friends and like everybody knows that I was with my friends or like where I was at, like my parents and like even Zach's mom and all that. You know, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, it is.
In that regard. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think about it that much.
You should start thinking about that.
Why?
I think we all should. No, I'm just saying. I think it's just something we have to keep in the back of our minds. I think because we get so used to just exposing everything we do. And like you said, like I'm the same way. Like, especially at the beginning when I first got social media, I was like posting myself making a sandwich. But now after a while, I'm like, dude, this shit is just boring. Who the fuck wants to look at this? Like,
but this is the thing. A lot of people do care to see that kind of stuff because they do invest in you and they invested in your life. And I understand that. So I'm trying to get better at it. There are some things that like I would like to get better at, such as like redecorating the place or doing all that kind of stuff on Instagram. But it just, I'm a regular person just working,
Okay. Yeah.
Natasha?
I go in and out. I do ebbs and flows. Like sometimes I'm feeling like, hey, let's share everything.
I've noticed that.
And then there's times where I'll just go ghost where it's like there's something happening or whatever. And, so I go back and forth because sometimes I do want to share certain things, but also sometimes I'm like, my phone is nowhere to be found. And that's just like me in real life. Sometimes I'm just completely shut off and cut off. So yeah. Thanks for noticing, Joe.
Because I do that too. I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
Because then you don't feel forced. But whatever. Okay, I think we talked enough about this.
Yeah. As far as the last Bachelor Nation breakdown, we have Caitlin Bristow revealing the advice she gave to Katie this season, which I was there. I can tell you that she took this advice to heart. And I feel like just basically telling any lead. And Caitlin does state that she tells everybody that's in this position, a lead position specifically, is just to remember to be authentic and be true to who you are and try not to control the narrative because it never really works out for you. You don't really get the full experience when you're trying to control every twist and turn. It's just, that's the one place, and I try to explain this to Katie as well. It's like, this is the one place where just let other people kind of handle it and just see where like the cards unfold. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Cards unfold?
Yeah.
See where the, and because you just never know. There's just so much more happening behind the scenes that you are unaware of, like the conversations that the guys are having, or like if someone has something planned for you and like you trying to control that narrative might change the course of all these other relationships. I mean, it's not very natural for you to be navigating 20, 30 relationships at one time. So this is the one time where you do have people kind of having your best interests and trying to take care of that for you. So it goes for everyone, even people that are, I hate the word contestants, but contestants on the show. Like you trying to come off and control everything is never going to work out for you.
Yeah. Tayshia, can you spill some tea about this season? Come on, we ready. Give us something. I need something. Give me one thing. A little ding.
I mean, I feel like there's definitely some things that take place in the season that I don't think have ever happened before.
Okay, how about this? Do you think she took Caitlin's advice and really put it into play completely?
I think it was challenging and hard for her at times, rightfully so, just like everybody. Like I think everybody would have a difficult time to do that. So yeah, I think she tried her best.
Yeah, that's all you can do. I think advice, it's you take it and you do your best with it. But I completely agree with what you said. I think that's kind of the only way to go on the show is just
absolutely.
That's it. Be yourself, and what happens because you really have no control.
Well, because you also want to look back and know that was you. Like you didn't try to it wasn't a false narrative. It wasn't you trying to, I don't know, be a certain way or be perceived a certain way. Like you want to look back and be proud and like, that's
I've heard so many people say that too. Like, oh, I just, I did that because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. It's like, what do you mean? You thought you were supposed to do that? Just do what you feel. Do what you want to do, and whatever happens, happens.
And for our listeners, Caitlin just said, be authentic to who you are. Those are her quote unquote words. And I will say for people who are contestants on the show, and I think that's one reason why I guess maybe the formula of the show is to have a former contestant end up being the Bachelor and or Bachelorette, besides, this past Bachelor season. But a lot of people come into the Bachelor and Bachelorette, at least that I saw in my season. There were a few girls who said after watching, they didn't recognize who they were. So I think even if you are struggling with who you are, it's easy to say be who you are, but some people don't know and they're still figuring that out, right?
True. That's a valid point.
Yeah. So those people, like you said, Joe, that were like, oh, I thought I was supposed to do this or do that. It's like they might not feel that. Whereas when I was on my season, I watched it back and I was like, yep, she did that. She would do that. That's who she is. I don't care who you are, Peter, Joe, blah, blah, blah. Like, it don't matter. You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
For our listeners, Natasha does sometimes talk in the third person. So that's who she is right there.
That is her.
Sometimes she is me. I am she. Yes. So I'm saying that to say, it's okay if you don't know who you are yet, but just know when you subject yourself to reality TV, you will see yourself. You will see yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, it's very true.
Mm-hmm.
And you can learn a lot from that too. So
definitely. No regrets. No regrets. And I think even those people on my season who said that, they feel the exact same way. Like, I learned so much about myself and who I really am now. And kudos to them for that. That brings us to our clickbait of the week, which is a little different, y'all. A little different. We're going to go there. I think Joe's really going to like this clickbait.
I knew you were going to say that. I just knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
Joe probably is actually the cause of this clickbait. He plays a part in this clickbait.
Exactly. Well, he's driving all sales of this clickbait.
I do have to wear them, so go ahead.
So the clickbait, I'm just going to lead by saying, hot vax summer is what it said in the article, which is very funny. They talk about condom sales skyrocketing because now people are vaccinated, the summer's happening, and people are about to get it in. One statistic that I saw here was that 71% of singles reported that they hadn't had sex during the pandemic. 71%. I need everyone to let that sink in. Good for them. Some of y'all, I think y'all lying. I think y'all was still doing things. But I want to know if you guys think that this summer is going to be another baby boom. I know they said that, during the pandemic, people who were coupled up had kids and people got pregnant, and there's a lot of COVID babies, or not. Well, I shouldn't say COVID babies, quarantine babies. That's better.
Quarantine babies.
Yeah, quarantine babies. Do you guys think that this is going to be a new boom this summer with everything happening? I mean, the condoms, condoms aren't 100%. What y'all think?
Right.
Well,
Joe, I would love to hear your input on this.
Okay, so first I'm going to say this. I don't buy that 71%. I think it's 71% of the people that called in or answered this question, or the 71% of the people that were surveyed, but 71% of all singles in the country during the pandemic. There's no way. That is way too high in my opinion.
So high.
It's too high. And I mean, are we still in the pandemic? Are we not in the pandemic? I
think vaccinated people. I think vaccinated people are like, yo, you vax, I'm vax, come through.
Right.
Okay. But I do think, personally, just from Chicago, the weather's starting to get nicer and you go out, and I'm starting to see so many more people out than I did at this time last year. I think the bars are starting to look more packed and crowded. I do think this is going to be the summer of love. I really, I think people are going to be humping and having sex all summer. I think it's going to definitely be a thing.
Well, I think people have definitely realized that they don't want to be alone anymore. We've been alone for quite some time now. And I think people are ready for relationships, and not just flings, but relationships, because you didn't really value that at first. Don't you think? Before the pandemic.
That's good, Tayshia.
I'm serious.
Joe, I want to know what you think about that. Relationships versus flings.
Okay.
This summer.
Yes.
After the pandemic.
I'm glad Tayshia has that point of view. So now we have a little controversy right now, because I disagree with that. Because I think
so
it's
annoying.
I just say annoying. No, I have to be honest, okay? I have to be true to myself.
Tell me your
be authentic.
Okay, I need to be authentic.
This man.
Okay. I just think that being cooped up the way everybody was, and I agree, I think come the winter, people are going to be like, okay, now that I've got, all my hooking up out of the way, now I want to be in a relationship because it's like Christmas time and I want to just be more cozied up with somebody. But when the heat hits and the summer hits, I don't think people are going to be out there trying to find a relationship. I think people are going to be out there looking to get it in, get it out, get down.
I can see that at first, like everyone's going to kind of be out. It might be like a quick little, and boom, then, boom. Oh, boom, boom, boom. And then come around like October, November, it's going to be more like relationship season.
Yep. Yeah.
As per usual, it's always like that when the holidays start coming around, though. You know what I mean? Like people want couple costumes. People want like someone to take, well, maybe not to take Thanksgiving, but like around Christmas and New Year's, like people are always looking for a relationship around then. Don't you think?
Yes, but I think what you said. But I think what Tayshia said is interesting because it's off the heels of the pandemic and we don't know what's going to happen in winter, right? We don't know. They say that this thing kind of lessens in the summertime and then the wintertime comes and then, it might pick back up. We really don't know. So what Tayshia's saying as far as because it was a pandemic, that's why people don't want to be alone. And if we hit another quarantine, I don't want to be alone. But also I get what you're saying, Joe, when you say, oh, people are just been cooped up and they're just going to go wild when they get out. I am going to hope that Tayshia's right. I'm going to hope that Tayshia's right. And that people are just more mindful about their time that they're spending. Like, I mean, listen, personally, casual sex is dead. Like, honestly, like it's so dead. Like if you are out here looking for
Joe
casual
is rolling
sex
his eyes right now.
after this pandemic, like for everyone who was cooped up, that was single by themselves for 8 to 10 to 12 to however long weeks, think about that. You could be with Bae. You could be finding Bae this summer, or you gonna be finding a hookup.
So Natasha Parker, who lives in Manhattan, you mean to tell me that you think casual sex is dead?
It's dead to me.
Okay, it's dead to you, but it's not dead to everyone else. It's not dead
to me.
It's not dead to the 21-year-olds out there right now.
Wait, Joe. Okay, did you answer this already? Are you trying to say that you're looking for a casual hookup as opposed to a relationship right now?
No, I'm not. Personally,
Joe. Listen, he is such a man, just talking in circles. I'm
not talking in circles. Listen, I've had enough casual sex in my life. I'm 35 years old. I've only had one really long-term relationship. So for a long time, the only sex I knew was casual sex. Now, I am personally ready I want to be in another relationship. I like being in a relationship. And like I said, so that's where I'm at.
A relationship or a wife?
But here's the thing, right? If I listen, here's the
girlfriend
thing, okay?
Or a wifey.
Here's the thing,
Joe.
Okay? I'm going to talk in the third person right now, too.
Oh my
God. There you go. Okay? Go ahead. Talk your shit.
35-year-old Joe is I'm an experienced man. I know what I want, and I know what I'm looking for at this point. Okay, but if 35-year-old Joe was 26-year-old Joe, and there was a pandemic, the first thing I would want to do when the summer hit is go out and have casual sex. Okay?
Oh my God.
That's just the truth.
Okay. I love that. I love that for 26-year-old Joe. But 35-year-old Joe, I think I hear what you're saying. I do think back to the condoms. When I read this, I was just happy that people are buying condoms and having safe sex.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Well, because people also realize they're not ready for a baby yet. They can barely take care of themselves during quarantine. I think that is definitely a test to figure out if we can actually survive on our own.
Mm-hmm.
Some people realize they don't know even how to make food. You know what I mean? Or clean their houses or do laundry. So maybe they've realized they're not ready for a child. So yay for condom sales. Yay. Joe is a huge
Should we invest in some condom stock right
and
now?
I think during this time
we've
realized how important it is to have a healthy immune system and to be as healthy as possible, because when something like a pandemic and a disease, sweeps the world, like you want to be as healthy as you can. So I've definitely learned from that too. So yeah.
You're right on that aspect. I think our health is just so important. And I think that's definitely been highlighted in this past year. And being safe with sex is probably something that's on everybody's mind. So it's an easy thing to avoid.
So now I think that we've all come to the conclusion that safe sex is good sex. It is that time. I'm very excited because for the first time in clickbait history, we have one of Tayshia's exes on. And this guy might be one of the most popular people to come off of this season. I'm constantly hearing his name. Everybody, please welcome Mr. Dr. Joe. All right, Dr. Joe. Do you like Dr. Joe or just Joe? What could I call you?
As I told Natasha, Joe, you can call me whatever you want.
I like Dr. Park. I like Dr. Park. Can we do that?
Joe, I've known you for about 30 seconds now. We're friends. Just call me Joe.
Right,
good. Joe's fine.
I'm going to call you Dr. Park because I think that's cute.
I like Dr. Joe. So there we go. You got all of them.
Everyone's exactly. You got the whole grab bag here. Perfect.
All right. So Joe, how are you? How you doing?
It was a little stressful getting out of work and being here, but right now I'm in a good place. I see you guys hanging out, just talking with you. So feeling good. How are you guys?
Oh, good. Thanks for making it, Joe. I know you don't really have a busy schedule at all, being a doctor and all. So
it's more the influencing. I was doing a couple of ads. That's really what it was.
Takes up all your time nowadays, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's hard. Life is hard.
So making all those videos of cutting hair and just doing some weird stuff, right? Yeah, we see you, Joe.
Joe, so you're an anesthesiologist?
That's correct. Yeah.
And your hours got to be crazy. Like, what are your hours?
Oof, it's pretty variable. I mean, on a normal day, I would wake up at 5:45, be in the hospital around 6:45, and I would leave anytime between 4 and 7. And there's some days where I'm on call, and so I would just be there all night and then leave the next morning. So, they're a little hectic at times. For sure.
And you work
worth it.
And you work in a hospital, right? Not private practice, right?
Yeah, I work in a hospital, actually in a trauma center, so it can get pretty hairy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to take a step back from that. And I'm going to say,
are you serious, Joe? I was about to be like, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen? Yeah. No, okay.
Let's take a step back. Let's actually just see how you feel about, you are the first of Tayshia's exes to be on this podcast. The first.
Yeah,
Congratulations. We had to twist her arm. We had to.
That is that an honor or is that
it's an honor.
It's an honor, Joe. It's an honor.
We had to twist her arm. We really did.
For letting me be a part of this amazing podcast experience. And it's always good. I saw Tayshia. We ran together a few months ago. Tayshia's, I still have nothing but great feelings towards you, Tayshia. You know that.
Oh, of course. And same for you. It's just, it's so funny that there's so many of you guys roaming around the city. So this is kind of funny that we're now here on Clickbait, and the fact that we have seen each other in real life after the fact. But I think that should be normal. Hopefully I do see more of you guys. I know Zach went to dinner with all of you. Everyone's doing well, I'm assuming?
So far, so good. Yeah, no one's done anything crazy yet. But
okay. Oh God. Yeah. It's summertime. Everything's starting to heat up. Paradise is around the corner, so I won't hold my breath with that.
Speaking of Paradise, Dr. Joe, will you be taking some time off of work this summer?
That's a great question. I'm not sure if I'm still unsure. Still looking, just reading the tea leaves. Looking at the star signs and stuff, and so
tea leaves.
The normal stuff.
He kills me.
Okay, so Joe's going to be in Paradise. All right, that's just what that is.
No, but I have a question about that. How did that work with you leaving the hospital and being a doctor and going away? Like, were people supportive? Were people not? Like, were you like, look, I'm about to go find Bae? Like, what happened? Can you rock us through that?
I didn't say I was going to go find Bae. That's something not how it went down. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I know what that means, Natasha. We're gonna have to do.
I'll let you know.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Oh, Joe.
We'll talk
It's the Natasha dictionary. Don't worry, I'll tell you.
Okay. But it was interesting. Obviously, it was during the pandemic and in New York City where it hit so hard and it was so tragic for so many people. The height of that pandemic was actually in April. There were about 6,000 cases, but really there were more. We didn't have the testing capabilities to really capture everyone who's being affected. But thankfully, it actually declined pretty quickly. And by the time I was asked, and by the time I left, the cases had gone down to I think 300 to 400 cases a day. And this was in this weird nether zone where there wasn't enough surgical volume. People were still obviously uncomfortable with going and having elective surgeries. And so, but the hospital was open, so everyone was still going to work. And so actually the days were pretty light. And I told my bosses, hey, I have an opportunity to use all my vacation days during this time where you don't really need me. They were like, go for it. So yeah, they're very supportive. And I'm super grateful for that.
That's amazing. That's really great. And I will commend you too, because I know, one of the things that happens when you go on a show, you get a lot of followers, blah, 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 right? But you really used your platform to educate people about COVID, educate people about the vaccine. And that is amazing. That's really great. And I'm very happy that you did that. So if anyone hasn't checked out Joe's, our listeners that haven't checked out Dr. Joe's Instagram, he talks a lot and gives us a lot of information. So thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Thank you for those kind words, Natasha. I also have a line of anti-COVID armbands coming out. That's gonna you're gonna hit the shelf soon. So swipe up
anti-COVID. I was like, no way.
Anti-COVID. Swipe up for the joking. I'm joking.
I actually thought you were serious. I was like, I
did too.
I respect it. I respect the hustle.
It's so funny because you being a doctor, I think anybody will kind of believe what you say, and you're actually a huge goofball. And I feel like you make so many jokes, so people are like, hold on, he's being serious, and then you start joking, and we know that you're kidding. Okay, we got it.
Joe, but do you see some normalcy now, in hospitals? Does it feel like it's coming back to pre-pandemic?
In New York, yeah, definitely. It's not even close. You couldn't imagine the atmosphere, the fear that was permeating, especially because it hit here so hard, and it hit here first. So when people were getting it, we didn't know. There's so much we didn't know. We didn't know how to treat it. It was it was just tragic. But so now compared to then, it's night and day. I mean, things are pretty much, for the most part, back to normal with respect to hospital life in New York City, at least. So yeah, I'm in, and it's again, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Joe, for being on the front lines during the pandemic. It's not an easy job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
definitely.
Especially being at the hospital, and I'm sure you see so much, and we just appreciate you. So thank you. Let's see. Also, you guys, isn't that so crazy? I dated an anesthesiologist. That's pretty badass if you do say so to myself. I'm not done with that part. Okay, I just had to put that in there.
Okay. And then you broke his heart. And then
you broke his heart. Mm-hmm.
No. Yep. Okay, wait. But I will have to say, if you were going to go to Paradise, Joe, there's so much to you that I think people will be so excited to learn. And I think you could definitely swoon some women, because you showed me a couple of things. I don't know how you can play. Is it the ukulele?
It was a guitar. It was a small guitar, but it was a guitar. Yeah.
Okay, so guitar. You also eat really good food.
Yeah. I can cook a little bit of Korean food and cook a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
You surf. Look at oh my gosh, what if you rode it on a surfboard for Paradise? That would be hot. You should do that.
Joe, how long have you lived in New York?
I mean, I lived in this city for the past 9 years.
Wow.
But I'm from New York. I grew up in Long Island, and besides a couple, I went to school in Georgetown, so I was in DC for a few years. I worked there for a few years, and then I came back. and then I went to med school in Long Island. So I've been a New Yorker for most of my life, for better or for worse.
Where does surfing come in? How are you? How do you surf?
Long Island.
I'm jealous. I'm from Chicago.
Well,
I never.
You got a lake versus the ocean, Joe.
Yeah.
Natasha's 100% right. I lived right by the South Shore of on the South Shore of Long Island, and right by Long Beach, New York. And there are some world-class waves in the fall when the hurricanes come through. So like when most people are like, oh my God, it's going to be like a category 4. Listen, I also am like, don't want any damage or devastation, but I also think like, how the waves are going to be. Like,
Right.
It's like, it's a plus. It's weird.
That is so
awesome.
Really, but Google it, YouTube it. There are some really, really amazing waves that come through Long Island. So I was lucky that I grew up there.
That's awesome. Blew my mind.
Yeah, it's fun.
Wait, okay, so Joe and Tayshia, do you guys have any stories? This is clickbait, so we can share here. Any stories from your season that we didn't get to see that was not aired?
I think more so is that conversation that I was just kind of talking about, the fact that Joe has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, right? We didn't really get to see that. What else? Is there anything else?
I was thinking it's not a story, but I was thinking about like I've not been on an official date since the show ended. I'm not sure why. Mostly because of work. Mostly because it's like, you know, the quarantining. It's not the easiest thing, and oddly, as sure you guys are aware, it's almost harder when you come back from experience
to
like
date
that.
people.
Like in some odd way, it becomes more difficult to find like a real person who you can connect with and wants to connect with you for you and not for some other odd
something
reason.
else.
Would you agree with that, Joe the Grocer?
You know what? My experience was a little different when I first got off the show because I wasn't single. So I don't really, you know, I don't really know.
But what about Bachelor? And like
Bachelor,
Dancing with the Stars.
He was in like night 1, so it wasn't the same. People didn't really know him.
Yeah, it wasn't like that.
But he did Dancing with the Stars. I mean,
yeah, but I wasn't single when I did Dancing with the Stars. I did Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, right. Okay,
after
sorry.
the whole thing. But my name is Joe, so I know what that's like being a Joe off the show. and you're like a true fan favorite, and I know this because my name's Joe and I'm from The Bachelor, so I'm always getting tagged in things that you're in. What like being a real fan favorite, like what is that? How does that make you feel? Like what has it done for you?
I want to answer that question, but I just want to go back real quick as to why I brought up the dating thing and the story for the season.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Which was Tayshia, you know, and again, this wasn't aired, but
what?
You were the last person I smooched with. And it was, and Zach, listen to me, Zach. It was the smallest of pecks, I swear to God. But
Zach is not listening.
You're so funny. That is right.
I'm getting red. But, that is true. That is a true story. And I was thinking about it. I was like, I mean, person who so anyway, it's a weird.
That's crazy though.
Wait. So that's to date? Did I hear that right? So you haven't kissed anyone?
Pretty much. There was actually there's one person, other person that I remember. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Besides one other person since that show.
It's kind of crazy though.
Is that person's name Bennett? No, I'm just kidding.
It's actually his name's Brendan.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny. You two, you guys have a strong bromance. But you guys were in the same room, weren't you?
We were in the same room. We were in the same limo. And,
who? You and who?
Joe and Brendan. They slept with. Well, like they were in the same room. Not slept with. I meant they slept with each other. Like they were in the same room.
You can't prove that. You can't prove that.
I can't. I can't.
That's hearsay.
That is a truth.
Speculation.
You two are so wild.
We have to. We got to get your opinion. Okay.
What?
Tayshia thinks one way. I think the other. We need your opinion on our clickbait of the week.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Dr. Joe.
Okay.
Dr. Joe, we need to know.
Now,
Tell them the whole story, though.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So the facts pretty much are that condom sales are going way up right now because everything's getting back to normal. People are getting their vaccine shot. And
it's skyrocketed 24.3%. You like percentages. In the last 4 weeks.
Do you think Do you think that this is going to be a summer of casual hookups, a summer of love? People are going wild. They're ready to get out. They're going to have fun. You're in Manhattan. You're a doctor. Last person you kissed was Tayshia. You're getting it in. Or do you think people are going out this summer in hopes to find a relationship and be with somebody in casual sex is, like Natasha said, dead?
I would, if I had to guess, I would say it's the former. I think this New York City is going to be one big, like, orgasmic orgy when it opens up. I really think it's going to be just an explosion of, it's just going to be like
an explosion, Joe.
I swear.
Fireworks. Fireworks. An explosion of fireworks.
Yep.
And but I think
you Joes will get along just fine.
Wait, speaking of you Joes getting just fine, let's play the game really quickly because I think this is going to be super fun.
So there is a game, Joe. We like to play games with our guests when they come here on Clickbait to get to know them a little better. But because we have this great opportunity that there's two Joes here, Joe the Grocer and Joe the Doctor, we are going to play a little game called the Battle of the Joes to see who gets the Bachelor Nation crown. Now, this is going to be rapid fire. I'm going to add, look at the stretching. He's ready. I'm going to say a caption and you have to say if it's written by you, Joe the Grocer, or Joe the Doctor. Okay? Captions, Instagram captions. You ready? Joe, Dr. Joe, you're going to go first. Surf's up, sun's down, good vibes all around. Who's that?
I think that's Dr. Joe.
That's a Dr. Joe.
Yeah,
Joe the Grocer, what do you think?
I think that's Dr. Joe too.
Yeah, Joe is not a good vibes type of person. He's more of like a my vibes, right, Joe?
Yes. Very negative person.
Okay, look at that. That's a beautiful photo, Joe. Beautiful for our viewers.
That was cute.
There's a beautiful photo. Or for our listeners,
no
sorry.
filter. Hashtag no filter.
Oh my gosh.
In Ecuador.
Beautiful.
Oh, really?
Next,
beautiful.
Joe the Grocer. Who said this? Who wrote this? First round only.
First round. Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. Who came up with this game? This is the easiest game I've ever played.
I've got 3 Instagram posts.
Okay. First round
only. Oh my gosh. Right. Oh, look, I like that photo, Joe.
Thanks.
Next for Dr. Joe. Are you ready for this? Suspender and sock game on point.
That would also be Dr. Joe. Unfortunately, that's Dr. Joe.
I cannot wait to see this image.
Let's see the image. Okay. Next.
Oh, yeah. You look good. You look good in suspenders. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Joe the Grocer, you are next. Got the band back together again.
That's Dr. Joe. That's not me. I roll with no band.
Okay, Joe is so.
Dr. Joe, is he correct?
Wow. That is correct. That is 100% correct.
Yes.
I know.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Basically, Joe the Grocer has no friends.
Yes.
That's what he meant by he doesn't have a band.
Got it. All right. Next one for the Grocer. Please. Oh, wait, no, you already went. Sorry. Next one for Dr. Joe. Please have a seat.
That would be Joe the Grocer.
Yes, that is.
That would 100% be Joe the Grocer.
I'm like,
it was meant to be. Please have a seat. Yeah, I think you actually said that pretty spot on. I don't know why I said
Please
that.
have a seat.
Yeah.
Please have a seat. Okay. I want to see the seat.
Oh.
Were Were you eating alone? Were you eating alone?
Yeah, poor lonely guy.
Oh, you need a band. You need a band.
I'm like Joe. I'm waiting for the explosion. Okay.
A fireworks. Who's taking the picture though? Who's taking the picture? That's my
friend.
Okay. Next, this is for everyone out there who grabs the first slice. Who said that?
I know this.
This is.
That's definitely Joe the Grocer. Sorry, was it my turn? Was it Joe the Grocer?
Yeah.
That's not me. No, that's you, Joe.
No chance. No chance, Joe.
Okay,
it's not
Let's
me.
look at this. Let's look at the photo.
Dun, dun,
Oh
dun,
shit, that is me. Oh, okay, fine. The game makes sense. I said that, huh?
You said that. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Joe, that is so funny. Wait,
Were you eating?
Joe,
Were you eating alone again?
No, but happy
okay,
National. I was in Japan though.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wow,
Great.
amazing.
Love that. All right, next one for Joe the Grocer. This is for you. Baby, it's cold outside, especially if you don't have a coat.
Oh.
Could that have been something I said?
Now he's
questioning everything.
Second-guessing himself. He's second guessing.
I'm going to say that's Dr.
two.
Joe. I'm going to say Dr. Joe.
Ding, ding, ding. You're right.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Let's see it. Oh, yeah. So we can't see this, but this was the video, right? Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's for the coach
That's
drive.
great. All right, Dr. Joe, this next one's for you. No clouds. Period.
That's definitely Joe the Grocer. That's Joe the Grocer.
that is Joe the Grocer.
It's a man of few words. A man of few but meaningful words.
Okay, so that is our game, and Dr. Joe, in true doctor form, has won. He has won this game.
We should have done a fake photo and put like looking for Bay and then made it
we should have did that. We should 100%. We should have added some fake ones in there.
I need that to be your next caption. Don't know what
That's so
picture's
funny.
going to be, Dr. Joe, but looking for Bay needs to be it. It's the
That's
Natashaism.
hilarious.
Always
Natasha,
looking for Bay.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Good.
All right, Joe, but before we let you go and go back to your real job where you do real things and save real people, if you do go to paradise, you find the time, you're able to get out there, could you name us some girls that you're possibly interested in?
Yeah, I could definitely name some girls. I would say, really put him on the spot here, but
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Gal Gadot. Bella Hadid would be great.
Okay.
Charlize Theron is a big favorite of mine.
Mhm.
So I'm really hoping that if
You
I
see them in
go there,
paradise.
I would love to meet them on the beach somewhere. Have a one-on-one or whatever happens on Paradise. So
Joe,
Okay.
I like your style and I respect it, but enough of the bullshit, okay?
No, we see what you did there. Listen, just for anyone that may be listening, because a lot of Bachelor Nation people listen to this, can you tell us what your type is? What's your type? What is your type? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does she
It move like
do? Yeah, like tell us. What have you dated in the past? Let the people know.
Let the people know. I don't, and this is such a cop-out answer, but I don't have a type. If you saw the people I've dated, they've been Korean. They've been I dated someone from Italy. I dated someone from Israel. I dated someone from Mexico. I have dated people. Dated someone who was from Boston. So I've dated a decent amount of people. And I'm still trying. I still haven't found obviously what I'm looking for. And I think the one thing that binds them all, if there was one common thread, is they're all a little kind. They're all kind, and they're all just a little silly. Like life is already pretty serious.
Kind and silly.
Yeah, kind and
Yes.
silly.
And you have a serious job.
Natasha, what are we going to do about this? Because he's just skating around all our questions. Right now.
Well, no, I hear that. I hear that, kind and silly, and I understand you don't have maybe like a physical type, right? Like because you're saying that they're different nationalities from different places. Got that?
Yeah.
Perfect. But I think every person, like you said, that has that common thread, kind and silly. Do you care if a girl lives somewhere else? Does she have to live where you live? Like long distance? Like what? Like we're trying to get some goods here. Mm-hmm.
I hear you. I would say at this point in my life, I'm 37. Distance matters. I would really want someone who, you know, you could really build a future with. And that's hard to do, especially starting out if you're not relatively close.
Right.
Or at least have some plans to be relatively close. And I think that's probably true for most people who are looking for the real things. So that's no different for me.
Okay. Yeah. And I respect that. And I think you're dead on with that. So she lives in New York. Can you give us an initial?
There's an E in, I'm sure there's an E in there.
Okay. All right. We'll stop. We'll leave you alone,
no,
Joe.
We'll stop.
We'll let you go back to work. Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you for real. And thank you so much for coming on.
All right, guys. Well, we just want to say thank you so much to all of our listeners. And of course, Dr. Joe. It was so wonderful catching up with one of my favorite ex-boyfriends. I can't say I'm looking forward to doing it again anytime soon, but Joe, you were a good first comer. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Yes, perfect guy to have on. Please make sure to check us out on social and like, comment, DM us. You know where to find us at ClickbaitBN on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Share your stories with us. We want to know what you're getting into this week.
And subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Wondery app, or wherever you guys are listening right now. And we will catch you next week.